sophomore now. I'm quite old. I applied back in 2018 for admission to UW for 2019, but I'm making this video, my high school stats and my application that I used to get into UW. UW is a state school. It's kind of in the name, University of Washington. With that, there really aren't a lot of out-of-state students here. I mean, there are some, but the majority of them are in-state, and so I wanted to create this video showing what my stats and my application looked like to get into UW as an out-of-state student. Back when I applied, I talked to a lot of in-state people, since that was most of my friends who were applying to UW, and so I didn't really have a good gauge of what it took to get in, but I just wanted to show my journey and my experience. And this is by no means like a formula, but this is how I got in, I guess. Somehow UW let me in. I don't know how. So I went to a school right outside of Chicago, and for us the big in-state school was University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, which funnily enough I actually didn't end up applying to at all. I grew up in Seattle, so my dream from when I was a little kid was to apply to UW and go, and I guess I stuck with that. I ended up doing that, and here I am. I guess I'll start with my GPA. Our high school was weird. Our GPA wasn't on a 4.0 scale. They did it out of 100, so they took the average of all of your classes, the grades that you got, and that was your GPA. So what I applied to UW with was a 96.4 out of 100, and we didn't have class rank. As far as coursework goes, my course load wasn't anything spectacular. I just kind of did the normal high school honors, whatever classes. I did apply with a couple APs, and the ones that I applied with that I had done before senior year were AP Stats, which I got a 4 on, and AP Psych, which I got a 5 on, and senior year I took AP Calculus, AP Bio, and AP Lang, which I included in my application, but I didn't have the scores for yet. And I think respectively I ended up getting a 3, 5, and 4 in those. So I did get some credit coming to UW, which was nice. And then for the ACT and SAT, oh man, this was a long journey. I hated it. And I know it's a little bit different now because of COVID and all of that. A lot of schools aren't requiring them, so oh my gosh, SAT subject tests are no longer a thing. I learned they got rid of them. Those, for the bane of my existence, I took 3, and I think I only ended up applying with 1, but I won't talk about that since it doesn't matter. But as far as the ACT and SAT, I took both of them. I took the ACT twice and I took the SAT once. The ACT was kind of the bigger test in my area. I know in Washington the SAT is a bigger deal, but the ACT I got a 30 and a 32 on as my composite scores. I actually have a really funny story that goes on. Not funny, it's very unfortunate, but for the first one I wasn't really fully prepared. I got a 30. I did really well in math, and then I did mediocre in all the other ones. I think I got a 26 in science, which was my lowest score, and then for my second one I got a high score in like everything else except for math, because during math I had a massive nosebleed, and I went up to the front where the proctor was and I asked her if I could go to the bathroom to deal with my nosebleed, and she looked at the clock and was like, you still have 20 minutes, just sit down and finish your test. And so I didn't finish my test, but I ended up getting a 20 something in my math. So both my scores aren't as high as the combined score. I think my combined score was about a 34, with my highest scores being a 32 in English, a 35 in math, a 33 in reading, and a 34 in science. And then for my SAT, I got a 1510 total score, with my scores being a 720 in the English section and a 790 in the math section. And I just wanted to add that I did prep a long time for both of these exams, and across the UW students that I've seen people get in with a wide range of scores. I felt very comfortable with mine since it was above the averages that were stated online, but really it depends on what college you're applying to within UW. I know computer science and engineering require higher scores for admission, but I applied to the College of Arts and Sciences, and so I definitely felt comfortable with where I was at. All right, I just pulled up my coalition application from a long time ago so that I could remember what I put exactly for the activities and experiences section, since I don't remember off the top of my head. But the first thing that I put was a surgical shadowing experience that I had. I knew that I wanted to go into pre-med, and I applied as a pre-health sciences major. or pre-major or whatever, and so I put that as the first activity that I did. For the second experience, I was on varsity math team, and I won junior mathlete of the year, and so I put that as an accomplishment under that. I was in something that my school had called Clavius Honors Program, which just means I showed up early to school, and this was like a math and science program, and we would read various scholarly readings and have Socratic style discussions about them. I was in my school's Asian youth group, which is just a cultural club. It was a lot of fun. We did dancing and performances, and it was, yeah, just a cultural club. And then I had 100 or so hours of volunteer work that I did, and the honors program required it for my school, and I put it as a separate part of my application. And then I did the ANC 12, which is the American Math Competition. I believe it's a national competition, and most schools do offer this. Actually, on that note, it's really funny that I did a lot of math in high school because I started to hate math once I got to college, which it's funny how that works. I took the calculus series here and it crushed me, and so I decided to stay very far away from that. But the last activity that I did was creative writing, which is very, very different from all the other activities I know. It was just a summer camp. It was a 1-week thing at a college in Illinois. And I was debating whether or not I would read my essays, and I decided not to. All you need to know is that they're absolutely horrible, and I wrote them like the day I applied. The first one being the personal statement. I have another. I did them on my iPad that I have from high school, since our school had iPads. The personal statement I took from the Common app, and I just modified it. I think for the Coalition app, it was 500 words, which is about 100 or 150 words less than personal statement for the Common app. And I sound like a douchebag in my personal statement, not gonna lie. I don't know why anyone let me in. Thank you, UW, for letting me in. I wrote about how I like math and STEM and my competition experience with varsity math team. So I sound like every other STEM nerd that goes to high school, basically. And the other essay was something about diversity, and I was thinking that I would not tackle it from a race or ethnicity perspective because I am a Vietnamese American, and there are like a lot of that at UW. And so I wrote about it from the perspective of music and art and my involvement in that, and that was how I was going to contribute to the diversity at UW. And then I wrote 2 more essays, and that was just for the honors program, but I don't think I'm going to go through those. They're also really, really bad, and a very basic explanation of why I wanted to be in the honors program, and somehow they let me in also. So yeah, that's it. That's how I got into UW. Please like this video or subscribe, or neither. But hopefully this helped at least someone, or give someone an idea of what it takes to get into UW, either in-state or out-of-state. But yeah. Thank you. Bye.